A very good afternoon. It's the 11th of August 2023. Welcome to the lunchtime news here on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Sanita Senanai. Let's first take a look at the headlines. Water released to Udabalava from the Samanala River to be limited, says the CEB. Staff of the Neville Fernando Teaching Hospital protest. 20 people arrested during the IUSF protest released on bail. 10,000 small weavers dried up. 50,000 families facing drinking water crisis. Maui wildfires death toll climbs to 53. Taking a look at the updates from the Parliament, opposition lawmakers in Sri Lanka have urged the Speaker to withdraw his statement in which he said that the proposal on executing the domestic debt optimization program cannot be challenged in any court. However, Speaker Mahinda Ababewardena said he would not amend his stance on the matter.
On the
9th of August, you issued a directive in Parliament stating that as a proposal was passed in Parliament with respect to the Employees Provident Fund, it cannot be taken up for examination in the court. When you delivered the ruling in the morning, the relevant case was to be taken up for examination in the court in the afternoon. If the court ruling is wrong, you could have issued a directive after the court had delivered a ruling. At the same time, your directive is wrong. What is a proposal in Parliament? The Constitution defines it. One is the motion of no confidence. Second is for the proposal to move a proposal to seek public opinion on matters that are of national importance. Apart from that, there is no other mentions of proposals in the Constitution. I would like to know if the proposal to include the EPF in the domestic debt optimization program is a law. Is it a draft bill? Is it a regulation? It is none of the above. It was a proposal moved to Parliament. What is the process followed in drafting laws in Parliament? The process reaches Parliament after passing through the courts. The court has the right to determine whether legislation is consistent or inconsistent with the Constitution. However, after the bill is passed in Parliament, the court cannot rule on it. However, this is a proposal and not a bill. Imagine if a member proposes to close all the courts in the country and it is approved by a majority. Can it not be examined by the court? We can go to court on any bill or regulation that comes to Parliament after passing the court process. Where has the EPF matter on the domestic debt optimization program been taken up for examination in court? There are limitations to the Parliament. Parliament cannot operate as it pleases. I would like to know how a proposal cannot be challenged in the court. Stating that a proposal moved by the Parliament after being approved cannot be challenged in the court is completely wrong. The directive given by you on August 9th sets a very bad precedent. Therefore, you need to withdraw that statement. Parliament Speaker of this country is issuing directives in the House as the agent of the President. That is against the judiciary and influencing the judges. The judges are also being intimidated. There is a pattern to this. Judges are threatened that they would be summoned to the Privileges Committee in Parliament. This is a wrong system. The government will change in another year or two. As the Speaker, maintain your dignity, end the conduct that taints your character and stop being a slave to the executive. Reverse the decision that you made. You have given a decision with regard to a privileges issue raised by a member. I do not believe that it interfered with any judicial process. The decision on examining the petition depends on the submissions that are made to court. A protest was held opposite the Dr. Neville Fernando Teaching Hospital in Malabe on Friday.
The protest was organized under the theme Protect the First Sri Lanka-Russia Friendship Hospital in the country. A group including doctors, nurses and staff of the Dr. Neville Fernando Teaching Hospital engaged in the protest.
On the 1st of August 2017, 6 years ago, this hospital was taken over by the government. That was after abolishing the Saitam Institute. Currently, owing to the economic setbacks, the government is unable to pay attention to this hospital. Because of this, many patients who come here to get medicine and treatments are inconvenienced. The staff members working at the hospital are inconvenienced as well. We urge that this hospital, which is a symbol of the friendship between Sri Lanka and Russia, be protected with diplomatic intervention. The 20 students who were arrested during the protest march organized by the Inter-University Students' Federation on Thursday were released on bail.
The group was released based on a court order issued by the Halsdorf Magistrates Court No. 1 when they were produced in court on Thursday the 10th. They were released on a personal bail of Rs 25,000 each. Court also ordered the group to be produced in court once again on the 14th of August. Sri Lanka police used water cannons to disperse the group at 2 separate locations during the protest march on Thursday the 10th evening.
The Ceylon Electricity Board says that the amount of water released from the Samanalavavu Reservoir to the Udawalavu Reservoir will have to be reduced from Friday. This was owing to the formation of whirlpools due to the reduction of the water levels on the route taking water to the turbines.
Whirlpools forming along the route moving water from the Samanalavavu Reservoir to the Udawalavu Reservoir on Thursday the 10th, and as a result the CEB has decided to reduce the speed of the electricity generators. Accordingly, only 40 megawatts of electricity was generated from one generator on Thursday the 10th, and the CEB said that it would have to be reduced further on the 11th. Friday. However, 7.5 billion cubic litres of water was released from the Samanalavavu Reservoir to the Udawalavu Reservoir, and the capacity of Samanalavavu is currently at 8%. The Satyagraha campaign launched by the rice farmers demanding water to be released from the Samanalavavu Reservoir to the Udawalavu Reservoir was temporarily called off on Thursday the 10th after continuously taking place for 18 days. Farmers allege that about 50 acres of paddy fields have dried up in the Omara region of Walasmulla, and the number of farming families affected by the situation is 25. They further said although the Muruthewela Reservoir is located near this village, it does not release water to the Muruthewela South Irrigation Canal.
Sri Lanka's Agrarian Development Department says that almost 10,000 small irrigation tanks or wavers have dried up due to arid weather conditions.
The Agrarian Development Department said that this situation had posed serious issues in sourcing water for various cultivation across several districts in the island. Hundreds of acres of rice fields have been destroyed in Kurunegala and Anuradhapura districts due to the dry spell. Moreover, other crops have been affected in Kurunegala, Anuradhapura, Ampara, Monaragala and Hammathura districts. It added that given the difficulties faced by local farmers, permission was granted to dig wells within the dried-up irrigation tanks or wavers. The Agrarian Development Department further said that limited monsoon rainfall and dry spell had contributed to irrigation tanks drying up at rapid pace.
Rice farmers who depend on the water from the Kalavavu claim that their cultivations are at risk due to the drop in water levels.
Approximately 25,000 hectares of rice fields are cultivated by using the water sourced from the Kalavavu. Cultivation activities are taking place in the areas of Tambuthegama, Eppavala, Thalawa, Nochiyagama under the south bank of the Kalavavu. Mahailupulam receives its water from Yodala. Cultivation is done in areas such as Galnava, Megalava under the left bank. Locals allege that the Kandalamavavu Reserve in Dambulla is being destroyed by a certain group. Environmental organizations also pointed out that the land on the border of the reserve is being cleared and it poses a serious environmental risk.
Environment pollution is taking place severely in the protected areas opposite the Dambulla Kandalamavavu. The forest inside the protected area has been set on fire. There is a land racket here. These lands are sold for millions. The Disaster Management Centre says that owing to the arid weather, drinking water problems have arisen for 66,500 people belonging to 50,000 families.
Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudhanta Ranasinghe, stated that people in 13 districts have been affected in this manner. From the beginning of last month until now, the group has been inconvenienced as a result of the drinking water problem. All the districts of North East, Hambantota, Badulla, Nuwara, Munaragala are included in those districts. The Director General said that steps have been taken to continuously supply water to the affected people through bowsers.
People of Padiyatalawa in Ampara are severely inconvenienced owing to the lack of clean drinking water. People in the villages of the Padiyatalawa Divisional Secretariat in the Ampara district are inconvenienced due to the shortage of water. This problem has worsened with the current arid weather conditions. They fulfill their drinking water requirements by making pits in the Thalapita Oya, which has been dried up owing to the arid weather conditions. Meanwhile, farmers who have harvested in the paddy in the Yala cultivation season are inconvenienced as they are unable to sell their produce at a reasonable price.
According to reports, farmers from Kantale, Seruwavila and Alla have already harvested around 50% of their harvest for this Yala season. But the government stores have not been opened. Due to this, farmers have to sell their crops to private traders at very low prices. Cultivations of farmers from Polonnaruwa, Dimbulagala and Siripura have been damaged owing to the arid weather conditions. Farmers complain that government stores remain closed in those areas and they have to sell their harvest to private traders for 74 rupees per kilogram.
News First with the people.
Be the first to know about the biggest stories as they break. Subscribe to News First English News Alerts. News First, your trusted English news channel.
A rally of the Jatika Jana Balawege was held in Ratnapura on Thursday. If we do not create a mechanism as the working class, the fate of these people will not change. The entire country is asking them to go. No one is asking them to stay. The Prime Minister ran away. The President ran away. There is a President without a mandate. There are no councillors for the local government institutes, yet they still exist. We cannot chase these leaders away by struggles based on opinions. What will happen if the 13th Amendment to the Constitution is implemented? A discussion in this regard was held in Colombo on Thursday.
There
have been presidents who worked for the devolution of power, but none of them fully implemented it because of the negative impact it has on the country. Today, this president and his cabinet, including Dinesh Gunawardena, who voted against the 13th Amendment in 1987, is not uttering a word regarding this. There is a law regarding police powers in the country, but if those powers are given to provincial councils, the laws formulated by the parliament will not be implemented. Are you planning on giving power to political leaders who murdered thousands of young people? Listen to our woes first. Do us justice. The second generation organization alleged that some factions are attempting to create a crisis and rid the people of elections. The organization expressed the following views during a media briefing in Colombo on Thursday.
Every
person that says they will build the country has held a ministerial portfolio in some government. The same people are now divided and are asking for power to develop the country. The nature of these people are to create crises and brainwash the public with the objective of stealing votes. Day 6 of the second leg of the LOLC Divisavya program got underway today, centering the Kandy district.
The LOLC Divisavya program is taking place to support the Sri Lankan student population, and the second leg of the program aims to provide school books and stationery free for 1 year for government schools with less than 100 students. This worthy initiative is a collaboration between the LOLC group and the Ministry of Education. School books and stationery items were distributed to students in the Kandy Education Zone on Friday morning. Students of the Hanuvara Shri Vimalabuddhi Prathamika Vidyalaya, Sivananda Dimala Vidyalaya and Kappitipula Vidyalaya benefited from the program. The LOLC Divisavya program will continue to support the future of the Sri Lankan student population.
Here's a look at more comments made in Parliament.
At
the recent Parliament group meeting of the government, they had shown a video of the media heads of a certain media institution and had decided to appoint a select committee against that media institution. The President and the government are interfering with the judiciary. They are intimidating the judges, stating that they will be summoned to the Parliament Select Committee. There is no room for that. This is not a dictatorship and not a country ruled by Hitler. This is a democracy. We spoke about the media. If there is a light, will it be rectified or will action be taken? That is what we talk. We will not do what happened to Richard de Soisa. This decision was taken following legal consultation. It never mentioned about the court case. There is no need to change my position.
In international news, Russia has launched its first mission to the moon in nearly 50 years, pitting it in a space race with India, which is also aiming to land a lunar craft this month.
The launch of the Luna 25 craft to the moon on Friday was Russia's first since 1976, when it was part of the Soviet Union and was conducted without assistance from the European Space Agency, which ended cooperation with Russia after its invasion of Ukraine. The launch from the Vostokny Cosmodrome in the Far East took place at 2:10 a.m. Moscow time Friday, according to live images broadcast by the Russian space agency Roscosmos. The four-legged lander weighs approximately 800 kilograms and is due to reach lunar orbit in 5 days. It will then spend between 3 and 7 days choosing the right spot before landing in the lunar South Pole area. The lander is expected to reach the moon's surface on the 23rd of August, around the same time as an Indian craft, which was launched on the 14th of July. Both countries' modules are headed for the lunar South Pole, an area where no spacecraft has landed smoothly. Only 3 governments have managed successful moon landings: the Soviet Union, the United States and China. Roscosmos said the module would operate for 1 year and take and analyze soil samples and conduct long-term scientific research on lunar surface material and the atmosphere.
The death toll has risen to 53 people in the catastrophic wildfires scorching Maui and Hawaii. The rapidly spreading wildfires that swept through Maui in recent days have devastating consequences for both people and property. The death toll has reached a tragic 53, and a historic town of Lahaina was severely affected. However, the impact of these fires on Hawaii's environment and natural surroundings is also anticipated to be substantial. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For the News First team, I've been Sunita Senanayake. Take care and stay safe.